Madeline didn't dare move. The mess had spread its way to the front of her underwear and hadn't been contained as well as it should have. Now she actually wished for a diaper because she couldn't stand ruining her underwear every 20 minutes. Black smoke enveloped her. Madeline looked down. She had been cleaned and she was now wearing her uniform but with a diaper on underneath. Madeline looked at Rogue, who was wearing the same. Thought-reading abilities. She shrugged. Black smoke filled Hypnotic's cage. She reappeared wearing a baby harness that prevented her from moving her arms. Rogue held the reins and the two Yaffle men teleported back to the 11 with their captive. "We have to go in and get them, Nightcrawler, let's go." Gabriel shouted, his patience had worn thin. "Or maybe you guys could, welcome us back," Madeline said. "Madeline!" Gabriel shouted triumphantly. He looked at the other Yaffle men, ashamed. They simply shrugged. "We were just coming to rescue you, but we couldn't get close and not everybody thought we could attack Anne." Madeline put her fingers to Gabriel's lips. "Don't speak." The two kissed. "I hope you guys have some good news for us," I said. "Sure, sugar, I have the perfect powers to help the Yaffle men. Just tell me where they are." Rogue smiled. She no longer worried about Madeline and Gabriel, she just wanted to get out of diapers for good. Jean and Storm are at the library, Spike began, but Rogue had already disappeared. The destruction around the library was immense. Mystique, in the form of Huge Tiger, was busily dodging lightning blasts from Storm. Quicksilver was busily trying to spin out of a cyclone which Storm had created, whilst Jean was using her telekinesis to hold off Vertigo's attacks. Rogue looked at the destruction dismayed. Quicksilver then found that his shoelaces were tied together. But those weren't his shoes, they were thick baby booties that hurt his feet when he tried to wiggle his toes. He then disappeared in a puff of black smoke, only to reappear in a diaper and baby bouncer beside Summon, to the groans of his teammates. Mystique then found that she was wearing a dog choker as she disappeared, only to find herself trapped in a kennel with a glass door in the front. Vertigo found herself sitting in poopy diapers harnessed to the cube with the rest of the Brotherhood. Jean turned to Rogue. "But how? No time, where is Cyclops?" Rogue asked. "Downtown fighting Saber-Tooth and Juggernaut," she said as Rogue disappeared. The Brotherhood then managed to laugh despite themselves as two of their strongest fighters were returned to them wearing big baby girl clothes, with Saber-Tooth dressed in pink baby doll dress and diapers. He was tied to another corner of the cube. The human Juggernaut then appeared trapped in his own cube. His red armor was now pink and his dirty diapers were on display as the trousers of his armor were removed and replaced with thick white cloth diapers, pink rubber pants, and on top of that white and pink frilly baby pants were placed on top of those. Squeezed into the mouthpiece of his helmet was a pink pacifier and his hands were tied into thumbless mittens, which were yellow with teddy patterns. The laughing stopped as those who had been dry soiled themselves. Rogue moved onto the professor's location. The Lord of Magnetism was flying high above the psychic mutant. A special helmet protected his mind from being taken over by Professor Yaffle, but his attacks were still the most effective against Magneto.